I'm going to preview the Baylor versus Oklahoma State women's basketball game. And what if these two teams are receiving votes the next poll? So I got this ready ahead of time, and apologize if I'm looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. It will be played in Foster Pavilion, Waco, Texas on January 1st at 3 p.m. Central Time. And Baylor's 11-2 on the year, 1-0 in the Big 12 with the win against Kansas by 20 points, while Oklahoma State is 11-1 on the year, 1-0 in the Big 12 with the win against Iowa State, which Iowa State's really fallen off. But I will say the only loss for Oklahoma State was against Richmond. I mean, that was by 4 points. And granted, they played Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Oral Roberts, Texas Southern, Fairfield. They were a really good story last year. And I get it, but when you look at the record, they're not as good as last year's team, as you could tell. I mean, sitting on 3 on the year so far, which granted, some of these schedules may be inflated. And they played Central Arkansas, Chicago State. Arkansas, yeah, I give respect to in the Daytona Beach Classic, but Arkansas is not that superb of a team. And like I said, they lost to Richmond by 4. I mean, Arkansas is 6-8 on the year, so really not that great of an SEC team, to be honest. And Houston Christian University, Alabama State, McNeese State. So that's all I gotta say about their schedule when you look at the records. Not that great. And I know Baylor's had some of those games too. And I will say the first loss against Oregon was more of a fluke, to be honest. It's because Bella Roy got hurt within the first 2 minutes of the game. They didn't have an X-ray machine at Oregon State, which did not make sense at the time. And yes, I know Baylor was down a lot in that game, but they came back and almost won the game. So I'm just saying, and that was a trap game when I see one. Oregon had a lot of roster turnover from the year before. The schemes changed. So I'm just making that point. And that was the first game without Jan Van Geinbeek, who is out for the year, as we all know, for Baylor. And the only other loss was in Indiana. But I will say that Baylor took a 2-0 lead. After that 17-0 run, that was a difference. Yes, Baylor got close or even tied the game, but they couldn't get over the hump and lost by 8. I mean, you could check the wins like in Carn Word, East Texas A&M, which is like Texas A&M Commerce. This is old, like that's East Texas A&M Commerce, which is Texas A&M Commerce. Now in Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Southern Miss, Villanova, New Orleans, Louisiana Tech, Texas Southern. But UNLV is a good one. I do think they'll win the conference though. And Utah Tech, and then obviously Kansas. But let's be honest, and they were a one-loss team at the time. But look at their schedule; it was overinflated for Kansas as well. And one thing before I dive into which players to keep an eye on for Oklahoma State, there is a chance that Aliyah Madaru plays for Baylor. If y'all don't know who that is, it's the Florida transfer that entered the portal back in October. She committed to Baylor. They were hoping they're going to have her like the week of the Utah Tech and the Kansas games, but it didn't happen. She had to be medically cleared as well, not just academics, but medically. I would think she plays in this game, but that's to be determined. I know, but I would think between that last game to now, I mean, January 1st, I think she'll play. But that's a wait and see situation, as we all know. So I'm just making that mention right now. So what are some players keeping on for Oklahoma State? And they have 3 double-digit scores. They do have like 2 other players that are really like between 9 and 10 points per game, and I'll mention those in a minute. Micah Gray, number 3, 5'8" guard. That's a junior. Anna Gret Asi, number 4, 5'8" guard. That's a senior. Staley Hurd, number 32, 5'11" guard. That's a sophomore. That's the last of the double-digit scores. And all those average like 13 points per game or more, to be honest. And there's Macy Heward, number 22, 6'2" guard. That's a sophomore. Jaden Wooden, number 6, 5'6" guard. That's a freshman. They do have a post presence. And Tena Megasa, number 34, 6'6" center. That's a senior. There's Stacy Jones, number 20, 6'1" forward. That's a senior. Alexia Smith, number 25, 5'8" guard. That's a senior. And I might as well mention, like, praise Ega Revba. EGHAREVBA. Apologies if I butchered that. And really, I know, yeah, and there's like, I know there's a few more. I'm going to just go over 2 more players actually. And it's Maria Enes Rodriguez, which I don't think she's going to play that much, if any. Number 7, 6'1" forward as a freshman. And Riley Langerman has played some. Number 11, 5'9" guard. That's a senior. So it's a long time for both of these teams to come off of a break. So there's going to be a little bit rust, I would think. But they're probably going to try to work it out in practice as much as possible. And granted, I do not know the injury stats for Oklahoma State or Baylor going this game. Here I hear. And across the board, they got to make adjustments on the fly. You got to limit the fouls as much as possible. Of course, you want to be aggressive on defense, but don't to get to the point of fouling so much. You know, I know there might be a questionable officiating in this game, but you got to be the more mentally tougher team and make plays to win. Bottom line. That's just telling the truth. Now, defensively, you got to contain the shooters, contain the slashers, get some stops on the defensive end with getting some defensive rebounds. Limit the second chance points, the points in the paint, the fast break points. Don't let them live at the free throw line so much. To be honest, I mean, you got to do a good job on like side out of bounds at times, and try to make them go to the second and third, fourth option instead of the number one and 2 options offensively. You got to try to play straight up and not foul. I mean, if you can, you got to be good communication, like on switches, and don't allow any open shots as much as possible. Now, and you got to create some turnover and get some like blocks if you can, and get some steals, because that does lead into points off turnovers, which in offense you want to have points off turnovers as much as possible. Get some fast break points, because sometimes the easiest way to score is without a defense being there. And another thing, offensively, you got to take good shots, got to get some ball movement. Don't have like live ball turnovers. You got to limit those turnovers, especially. Make your free throws count. You got a good job on side of bounds and underneath their own basket when try to inbound the ball and try underneath their own bucket you'll try to score on. Obviously, I mean, it's just telling the truth. You got to be ball tough. And another thing across the board, if there's any Oklahoma State fans out in that game, try to take them out of the game and try to not your own crowd and get involved in the game, because it does make a difference. I mean, and the crowd needs to definitely do their part. I get it, but my point is, you need to try to give them some excitement to cheer you on and try to make the other team miserable. And try to make the other team miserable as much as possible in this game here. So, And this is a huge opportunity to get more respect, because Oklahoma State might be receiving more votes. And I know definitely for the last poll, they're receiving more votes than Baylor, which I don't get it when you look at the metric sites. Baylor's a better team than Oklahoma State. But you cannot just rely on metrics alone. You just got to demonstrate that in this game and show them, like, hey, you're not going in here and coming away with a victory. We're going to show you who's boss, and don't be intimidated by the other team. Of course, you don't want to get like technical fouls, I know. But my point is, mentally, don't be intimidated by them at all. And this is a prime opportunity to start 2-0, especially in the conference for both of these teams, but especially for Baylor at home. This is a home game, and this is literally the only meeting that these two teams will have this year, because it's an unbalanced schedule. You only play certain teams twice, and certain teams just one time, either home or away. So my point is, for Baylor here, go out, play your game, and you got to be smart with the shot selection too, and try to get Oklahoma State into some tough shots and get them some bad shot selection, even like shot clock violation. I mean, and don't have like 3 seconds on the lane on offense. Of course, if they do that and they foul so much, it's really on them. But my point is, you got to be mentally tougher than the other team. If there's questionable officiating, you got to move on to the next play. And don't get like flagrant fouls here. I mean, that's the thing about it is. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to subscribe. Of course, ultimate goal is $1,000 more money. With those, of course, like a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithms, so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching, if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe button, free the notification bell as well. And it will be huge if the following player. I mean, I'm trying to not single out individual players here, but my point is, like Nettie Vonleh, Aaronette Vonleh, aka Nettie. I hope she does a better job in terms of not fouling out of the game when she could be a presence down low and could give the other team issues. And Bella Florida needs to step up. Darren on the pitch, and little H Bugs needs to step up. Jay Walker needs to step up too, whether it's in a scoring role or assist role, defense. You get it. Same thing goes for Sarah Andrews, Kai Abraham, in terms of like defense and rebounding and rim running and potentially scoring, but you get the point. And same thing goes for Madison Bartley. Y'all Felder needs to step up offensively and defensively as a key rotation player. And Wise Jennings. And hopefully Aaliyah Matharu, if she does play, she could step up as well. And it'll be huge to have an additional guard to alleviate the pressure in the minutes for Sarah Andrews and Jada Walker going forward. So, and this is one of those type of games that Baylor needs to win, because honestly, I know it's further down the line here, but if you want to try to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, you got to take care of business at home. That's more important than anything right now. Just winning games in general. Get your confidence up and keep it going. And I know Oklahoma State's been on a long winning streak. I get it. Because when you look at their only last loss, that was like end of November, I believe. I'm going to just go back real fast, y'all. And then I'll go over like Baylor's winning streak after that. So, yeah. After November 30th, they won like 4 games in a row. While Baylor's won how many games in a row? 2, 7 games in a row here. So both these teams are coming off of momentum. Especially starting 1-0 in the Big 12 is huge, when the goal is to win the conference. And if you want to win the conference, you got to win your home games, or finish top 4 in the conference even. You got to win your home games to get a double bye. And this is a prime opportunity for Baylor to go out and take care of business at home. Because seriously, they are better than just a receiving votes team, in my opinion. Enough said about this game right here. Just go out there, play hard, and play smart. and let's go to work. And I'm sure the team is very motivated that they're not even getting respected as much in terms of receiving votes or even being ranked. I mean, I'm sure of that right now. I'm sure. But at the ultimate end of the day, they got the bigger goals in front of them, and in order to get those bigger goals, you gotta win home games, and this is a prime opportunity right here. Because they beat Iowa State, and I know Iowa State's reeling right now. I know, but they beat one of the conference favorites in the preseason, so you can't overlook them by any stretch of the imagination here. So that's enough said about this game.